The Mongols are considered by many to be the most feared warriors on the planet, and their leader created one of the biggest empires in world history. Genghis Khan was arguably the greatest conqueror of the 13th century, and so today, I thought I would continue my series by talking about what was going on in Africa during the reign of the great Genghis Khan. What up, African family? It's Home Team here, and I'm back at it with another video of African history, culture, and worldview. And as always, if you want to support the Home Team, you can do so on patreon.com. Also, go to Afrographics.com to gain more resources for African history. There you can find illustrative articles summarizing African history. All links to Patreon, Afrographics, and Home Team merchandise are in the description box below. Outside of African history, Genghis Khan is one of my favorite historical figures. In my personal opinion, his name should be above Alexander of Macedonia and many more. Surprisingly, not much light is shed on his legacy compared to others, and unfortunately, this video isn't designed to do so either. Genghis Khan was a Mongolian ruler that came to the throne in 1206, and his rule ended in 1227. So this will be the general timeline we'll be focusing on concerning the African continent. Interestingly enough, the 13th century seems to be the time in which we gain a little more insight into African warfare. Although the details of early African warfare are vague, by 1200, our knowledge of distinct military tactics come to our attention. The severity of warfare depended largely on size, government structure, and location of the nations involved. Just 8 years after the death of Genghis Khan in 1235, the Sahel region in West Africa began its golden age. The ancient Wagadu state was starting to collapse, and a huge power vacuum had to be filled. In 1235, a Mandinka prince named Sunjata Keita went into battle and defeated Sumunguru Kante at the Battle of Karina. This victory birthed the greatest empire in West African history, the Mali Empire. And for the first time, we become aware of a constitution coming out of a West African state. This constitution was said to contain 44 edicts and was called the Korakan Foga. This constitution established a federation of Mandinka clans under one government, outlined how it would operate, and established the laws by which the people would live. Sunjata Keita's success went on to build one of the greatest legacies in West African history. Our next event follows the life of Oba Aweka I of the Benin Empire. During the reign of Genghis Khan, Oba Aweka, according to a local Nigerian historian, was still very young when he became king. His father sent him special royal regalia and other royal insignia from Ife for the coronation, and he appointed a council of elders to assist Aweka on the throne. Oba Aweka reigned from Usama Palace, and it was during this time Benin got its name. It changed from Igoromidogo to Ile Ibinu, later being called Benin. Now further in the north, around the year 1220, during the reign of Genghis Khan, the Moroccan city of Marrakesh suffered a lot of turmoil and destruction. The empire of the Moors in North Africa, then known as the Almohads, fell into civil unrest and infighting, and their empire began to decline over several generations. This led to the instability of Morocco being reduced to regional kingdoms and ruled through a series of semi-autonomous princes. Heading over to East Africa along the coast, during the reign of Genghis Khan, the Somali city of Mogadishu was flourishing. Foreign visitors commented widely on Mogadishu's stature and wealth. The geographer Yaqut al-Humawi noted in about 1220 that Mogadishu was the most important city of the coast, inhabited by local nomads as well as foreign Muslims. Mogadishu's merchants had become wealthy, hosting overseas traders, producing cloth, and exporting sandalwood, ebony, ivory, and gold. During the reign of Genghis Khan, the Swahili city-states along the East African coast were certainly in their golden ages. The Kenyan city-state of Kilwa becomes a major trading port on the East African coast. Kilwa became the preeminent coastal trading city in Eastern Africa by about 1200. The city was able to gain control of the gold exports from Sofala, a port city south of the Zambezi River, through which the gold from the Mutapa Empire in Zimbabwe flowed. As people in Kilwa became more prosperous, they built large houses of coral rag and lime mortar, produced cloth to trade with their neighbors, minted their own copper coins, imported increased quantities of Persian and Chinese pottery, rich cloths, and expensive glass beads. Alongside Kilwa rose the Swahili city-state of Gedi, also experiencing a golden age during the reign of Genghis Khan. In Ethiopia, the Zagwe dynasty was in its last phases. King Lalibela of the Zagwe dynasty is often credited with commissioning the churches of Lalibela, even though there's still controversy as to whether he did so or not. Tradition claims that it took King Lalibela 24 years to build the 11 churches. Although little written material concerning the other Zagwe kings survive, a sizable quantity concerning Lalibela's reign remains. According to legend, however, Maskal Kabra, Lalibela's queen, built the church as a monument to Lalibela following his death. The legend states that she, with the help of angels, completed the church in only one night, adding to the wonder and mystery of the Lalibela churches and Ethiopian architecture as a whole. And the last event we'll be covering during the reign of Genghis Khan are the times of civil unrest during the time of King Dunama Damalemi. King Dunama came to power in 1210 and ruled until 1248. He is said to have commanded a powerful army of 40,000 men on horseback and expanded the size and power of the Kanem Empire. As a devout Muslim, he began to establish excellent relationships with the sultans of northern Africa and began to wage war in southern Libya, eventually gaining some control of the region. Dunama wanted to rid Kanem of any religious symbolism from traditional religions, and so he opened the sacred moon relic of the Kanem people, which angered citizens of Kanem. The act of unwrapping the moon, and thus the symbolic destruction of its mystique and the sapping of its power, had profound consequences both for the Safawa dynasty and for the Kanem people as a whole. This action alienated the Bulala clan of more traditionalist disposition, leading to the breakup of Kanem. The opening of this sacred relic of the Kanem people caused the breakup of the empire, and the Safawa dynasty moved into northern Nigeria, later forming the Borno Empire. Well, I'm all out, guys. Hopefully you learned something about what was going on in Africa during the reign of Genghis Khan. And if you like these videos and want to help out in its continued production, please consider supporting the home team on patreon.com. The link is in the description box below. Know thyself. Remember your ancestors. Peace.